2024 has turned out to be a very great year for metal, with a couple of very big and mainstream moments. Of course, none bigger than Gojira performing at the Olympics over the summer. That was just absolutely insane. People still talking about how epic that performance was. I remember watching it live and just getting covered in goosebumps. It was really such an insane thing to see on something as big as the Olympics. And now a similar thing has happened this week, certainly not on the same level as Gojira at the Olympics, but a very big moment nonetheless. Knocked Loose appeared on Jimmy Kimmel Live along with Poppy and performed their single Suffocate. That was the only televised portion of the show, but Knocked Loose actually did like a 15-minute set in total with Suffocate, where Poppy was out with them. And then they did Don't Reach For Me, Moss Covers All, Take Me Home, and Sit and Mourn. I'll put links down below to the actual Kimmel performance of Suffocate, and then I'll put a link to a fan film video of the entire set as well. And the fan film video is actually pretty good quality, and it's what you're seeing on the screen right now. Of course, though, Jimmy Kimmel's show is very, very mainstream. His usual viewers are not used to seeing something even remotely heavy on the show, let alone a band like Knocked Loose. I mean, he has had, I think, Slipknot and Lamb of God, I think, and maybe a few others over the years, but it's a bit of a rare occasion that there's a metal band on Jimmy Kimmel, or really any late-night show for that matter. But, of course, the usual Jimmy Kimmel audience left some interesting comments on the Facebook video on Jimmy Kimmel's Facebook page, where they shared the video of the Knocked Loose and Poppy performance, expressing their frustration that Knocked Loose was booked to perform on the show. I dug through the comments on that post. I tried to find a lot of these myself. These are all, a lot of these are posted in different articles from various different outlets reporting some of these, negative comments. I tried to find a lot of these in the actual comment section, but there's over 6,000 comments on that post, and we'd be there forever. I did find a few that were mentioned in articles, but anyways, the whole point of what I'm saying is some of these screenshots I'm going to show will be the actual comments from the actual post. Some of them will be just screenshots from various different articles and things like that. But we will start with someone who said, I was trying to enjoy the program. I was sitting on the couch with my son, who is an adolescent, waiting to see the musical guest because we like the nice music the show usually books. By the third or fourth junt, my son was in tears. He doesn't like scary things, and quite frankly, I think the Kimmel Show and its staff should make a formal apology. I have seen various comments online about that particular comment. I think that one seems to have gained a little bit more steam than some of the other ones that we're going to talk about, but it's possible that one is just trolling, but nonetheless, we got to put it in there because, for one, it's probably the most popular comment, I guess, of this topic that's been going around. And regardless of if it's trolling or not, it's just a great comment. But anyways, somebody else left a comment on that post referring to metal as being woke, where they said, "What's with all the screaming and spewing gibberish in the name of music? There's absolutely nothing appealing about this genre of music. Also, the crowd responding to this crazy woke musical genre all need to visit shrinks." Here's another one who says, "What in God's given earth was that? I love understanding lyrics. Why do you think Tupac was cool? His voice was clear. Tupac knew how to make a point. His instructions, I followed him as a child growing up into a young adult." Another comment criticizing the performance, and one I found very funny, says, "I do not understand what people see in this band or hardcore in general. It's just an awful sound to me. Plus, his shouty vocals sound like Zach De La Rocha stepping on Legos repeatedly, LOL. I really don't get it." The comments under the post are, of course, not all negative, with the positive ones by far outweighing the negative ones. The negative ones are only worth a mention just because of how funny they are, how ridiculous it is to see some of these people reacting to Knocked Loose on Jimmy Kimmel. But anyways, one of the positive comments is somebody criticizing the criticizers, saying, "Not even some metal fans can be happy about this moment. Y'all don't speak for the supportive metal community. This is a win for the metal scene. Don't be upset because your favorite band wasn't up there. Be grateful metal is getting more and more recognition." Which I got to agree. You got to be supportive in times like this, whether you're a fan of the band or not. I mean, it's just it's great that a metal band is on such a huge platform like Kimmel. But anyways, another comment says something that's probably very, very true, or at least going to turn out to be very true, where it says, "Some kid just heard metal for the first time and had a major life-changing moment in his living room last night." I 1000% think that Knocked Loose and Poppy on Jimmy Kimmel and Gojira, of course, at the Olympics earlier this year could 1,000% turn out to be a sort of a modern, the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show type of thing for a lot of kids who might just be getting turned on to this kind of music for the first time, just discovering it because of these moments. But, there was so many other comments on that post, plenty of people making the Gojira Olympics comparison, a lot of people saying that they hope that this Jimmy Kimmel performance gives them hope that there could potentially be at some point another rock or metal band to play the Super Bowl, which, I can appreciate that sentiment. I still think it's very, very unlikely that anything like that would happen. I mean, I don't even remember how long ago has it been since there was a rock or metal band at the Super Bowl. I mean, I don't know, Tom Petty or The Who or something like that, I think was like the last one. And the last, whenever the Black Eyed Peas played, I think they brought out Slash and did a little bit of Sweet Child of Mine. But from what I can recall, that was like the last rock moment. And even that was probably, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, something like that. So, and one appearance on a late night show is very, very different than the Super Bowl. I mean, the Super Bowl is one of the biggest events of the year. But nonetheless, I can appreciate and respect the sentiment. I, too, would love to see a rock or metal band perform at the Super Bowl. I think if it was going to happen, there's really only two bands that could do it, which would be, AC/DC and Metallica or something like that. But I don't know. We'll see about that. But as far as Knocked Loose and Poppy go, though, both of them are making a ton of waves lately. The song Suffocate is currently up for a Grammy nomination for Best Metal Performance, and it was, of course, featured on Knocked Loose's latest album, You Won't Go Before You're Supposed To, which came out earlier this year. And the band is wrapping up a major year. They did that tour, of course, supporting Slipknot, put out the new record, the headline tour to support it. There's already a handful of dates announced for 2025. And then Poppy just released her new album, Negative Spaces, a couple of weeks ago, with a big headline tour coming up in the US with a couple Canadian dates in the spring of 2025. So lots going on with both Knocked Loose and Poppy. And of course, very, very cool that the two of them were able to appear on such a major outlet like Jimmy Kimmel Live. But that's all I got for you for right now. Thanks so much for hanging out. Feel free to drop a like and subscribe below if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time.